I mentioned to you earlier that, on Fridays when you tune in during the Trading Post, often we talk about care elders looking for some volunteers for people in our area. And I thought, this is going to be fun. RSVP contacted me and said, I've got a great group coming in for you on Monday. And we're going to be talking with the Care Community Action Respecting Elders Agency. So Jen, Kipka, Sarah Kellen, and Joyce Rife are all here joining me today. Anybody want to say hi?
Hello, everyone.
How is everybody?
Great.
Yes. Super.
Good. Spring is here.
Spring is here. Isn't everything greening up? And I just love it. I love it. Well, I guess, first of all, the most I know about the Care organization is the volunteer status of what I just told you guys on Fridays. And I thought this is going to be a great time. So, Jen, do you kind of want to tell everybody a little bit about who you are?
Yeah. So we're an organization, a nonprofit located in Foley. CARE, as you mentioned, stands for Community Action Respecting Elders. We are funded by federal and state grants, local donations, fundraising efforts. We put on 6 fundraising events throughout the year. Our mission is really to support neighbors that are 60 years and older. We really want them to continue to live their lives independently in the home of their choice.
That's wonderful.
And so we want them to have more happy, more meaningful lives. So we serve Benton County. We also dip a little bit into Sherburne County, and at times, depending on a little bit into Stearns. But primarily, we are the Benton County and surrounding areas.
Okay, makes sense.
And
you've got 32 Live Well at Home block nurse programs.
So really, there's 31 others in the state of Minnesota that are similar in what we do, and that is supporting elders.
I see.
But each one uniquely has their niche in what they're doing. So some may provide transportation, while others may focus on caregiver support groups such as dementia. So each of us are a little bit different, but there's 32 of us throughout the state of Minnesota. That
awesome.
We're able to lean on each other for.
So Sarah, I guess you can tell me a little bit, how do you utilize the volunteers that are part of the program?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us. So we utilize volunteers in several different areas. 3 of our primary services that we provide to clients are transportation. So we have a lot, we have over 150 volunteers total, but about 60 of those are volunteer drivers.
Nice.
So in 2025, those volunteer drivers drove over 32,000 miles, taking people to and from doctor appointments, grocery shopping, that kind of thing. Another one of our primary services is homemaking. So a lot of these older aging clients who live independently are challenged physically, and so we bring volunteers in to do light housekeeping for them once or twice a month. We have volunteers that do that. Friendly visiting. So I've been a volunteer since 2008, and my children and I started volunteering. We actually started doing by doing yard work for an elderly woman who wasn't able to do it for herself, so we worked together with her.
Yeah.
But since 2008, I've been with her, and now my primary responsibility with her, pleasure, I should say, is having coffee with her and checking in on her. So those personal visits, we have a lot of volunteers that do friendly visiting.
I love that.
We have a wonderful food program. So we distribute, we have volunteers who distribute food to low-income seniors throughout the whole county. So once a month they come and they deliver food to these people. But in addition to delivering food, relationships can be formed as well.
Yeah.
So those people who are isolated, aging seniors who are isolated, have a visitor once a month and sometimes more. But I see the value in what happens between volunteers and the clients and friendships that are formed. Joyce, who's with us here today, she's been a volunteer for over 15 years, and she might talk a little bit about some of her experiences. So
I love that. Are you going to talk with us now, or are you moving on first?
You can move on.
We can. Okay. Yeah. When you decided to do this, was there a specific reason you decided to get involved? Do you remember? I mean, it's been a while, but...
Well, the board of the chair at that time was Maxine Olson, who was a friend of mine from church. And all of a sudden, she cornered me at church one day and said, you're retired. You don't have anything to do now, do you? Come be on our, be one of our volunteers. And so that's how I started as a driver.
Wow.
And then not too long after that, the next thing I knew, she had me on the board as well. And I'm currently the chair of the board, but, it's kind of...
And so do you still drive and do other things with
I do. Yeah, I do a lot of driving yet. One of the things that we do have a problem with some of our drivers is they don't want to drive to St. Cloud. They'll drive around, the rural areas and stuff in Princeton maybe, but they don't want to come into St. Cloud for some reason. And so I'm one of them that comes to St. Cloud a lot. I've even driven to the cities with people.
I've gotcha. Yeah.
So.
I know sometimes people do have that, the cities. Around here in St. Cloud, it's going to the cities.
Yes.
But people in Foley, this is kind of like the cities for them. Like this is the furthest that a lot of people would go. But yeah, I understand that too. All right. So, Jen, let's talk about how you guys, obviously, it sounds to me like the way we help people is you get them to meet people. They're not always isolated. They get to stay where they want to live, right? A lot of times people want to stay in their homes. Not everybody. Some people want to move maybe in more of a group situation or maybe in an apartment. But what are some of the biggest things that you see?
I think one of the big things we try to do is reduce senior isolation because, yes, we give them rides to their doctor appointments or, to the errands that they want to do. Mm-hmm. But it's really helping those seniors either meet them where they're at by going into their home, providing those light housekeeping services. We have a really cute story. We have a client been with us for over a year, and she was just looking for someone to come in and maybe do some light housekeeping and, was open to maybe needing a ride here and there, but really just needed someone to kind of get on those top shelves and do some dusting.
Yeah.
And we had a teenager that came to one of our volunteer expos that Sarah was at, and she expressed interest in wanting to volunteer for the CARE program. And youth is so important at this to get them involved early. And in order for her name is Emmy, in order for her to be involved, as a minor, she needed her mom to be involved too.
Oh, I see.
So she got her mom on board. Her mom and herself go and visit Carol once a month. They go and do some light housekeeping. While Emmy's doing the light housekeeping, her mom goes and grocery shops for Carol.
Oh, wow.
And they have established just a wonderful relationship. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. Aww. And they both, all three of them sat down and said, this has been a wonderful match. And, even though Carol was a little hesitant at first at how this might work, she was concerned about, payment and our services, we offer them for free.
Wow.
But a lot of times our clients will provide a donation to CARE just to kind of help keep our services going. Mm-hmm. And so she also gets rides from another volunteer that comes into the home and picks her up and takes her to her doctor appointment. So just seeing that full circle. Right. We have another volunteer that actually, she was a volunteer for us years past. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm sorry, she was a client and now she volunteers and she wants to help with friendly visiting. But what we noticed is she also comes in to help in the office. And so not only is she a volunteer, but she's also reducing her own senior isolation by coming into the office with a group of ladies that help put our newsletters together. We rely so heavily. It's a volunteer-led, volunteer-driven organization. Without our volunteers, CARE would not exist. It is volunteer.
Wow.
It is so very special to be a part of and to witness these stories come full circle with our clients and with our own volunteers.
So do each volunteer just work with one or two people, or does it just depend? Like I can volunteer 5 days a week, or I can only volunteer 2. Does it depend on how much time they have, how many people they kind of get to know?
Maybe I can speak to that. One of the benefits for me when I initially started is I had young children.
Yeah.
And so I needed to have a real flexible schedule on when I couldn't volunteer. Mm-hmm. So I like to tell new volunteers that this is very flexible. We really want to go based on what your availability is. So it really is. We do have a few volunteers, including Joyce, who are committed weekly to doing lots for the CARE program. And then we have others who maybe once a month are able to, so we can still incorporate them in those opportunities. Yeah.
Do they get to know specific people? Like when they come on board, do they kind of work with this mother-daughter worked with Carol?
Right.
Do you typically do that, or does it just really depend on the person?
Well, the term I like to use is neighbors helping neighbors. So when we do have a need, we oftentimes like to connect people who live close to one another geographically.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then also when I give an orientation to a new volunteer, I find out what their interests are, what their hobbies, their background, and their work history. And so when we have a client that has a specific need, we try to match them. We had a 95-year-old gentleman who really needed some housekeeping, but he also could use a friendly visit. He was a hunter, previous hunter, and he was, missing those opportunities to go out and adventure and be a hunter. So we connected him with a couple, and the wife would come and do the homemaking, and the husband would sit and have a friendly visit, and they'd talk about hunting.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. All right. Well, I want to get back to Joyce over here a little bit and talk about volunteering, just the personal, I guess, feelings that you have about it.
Oh, I've learned so much. I said my husband and I moved here about in 1988, and I worked for 21 years here in St. Cloud. But it wasn't until I started volunteering and meeting a lot of the clients, and one of them being a neighbor.
Wow.
I knew who she was.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
Yep.
We became very close friends, and I think she knew everybody. I think Jean knew everybody in Benton County pretty much. And she was always, our drives would consist of, well, over here so-and-so lives and they do blah, blah. And I just feel like I have learned so much about our community. And there's just a wealth of wisdom out there in these people. And they love to talk, and I love to listen. And I've learned a lot, way more than I ever did when I was working.
I've heard that a lot about volunteer programs, that, you think maybe you're going out to, like, I'm a big sister for Big Brothers Big Sisters. And a lot of times, similarly, you will hear that, you're trying to help somebody and benefit them in their lives. And with this program, obviously, helping them live their best life. Right. That way, kind of help give another adult, for the child. But then you end up being the one that's benefiting more because they're so full of life and they got so many stories and they're so unique.
Oh, absolutely. So, I always feel that way when because I've met several individuals, and you do get closer to certain ones just because I've got a couple of people I know, and I'm sure other volunteers do too, that say, well, I need a ride. Can you ask if Joyce is available?
Oh, right. Right. They feel a special connection.
It does happen, but I always feel like I get so much more out of it than they do.
Yeah. But they probably are like, oh, I just can't wait for Joyce to come back. It makes their day.
I hope so.
Right? That's what it sounds like. I did notice on here, I know we've got a few other things to talk about. Like we want to talk about ways to help support care. But I saw something about a pancake breakfast.
So, we talk about the volunteers and how important they are and vital to care, but so are the local partnerships. Yeah. And so we are extremely lucky and blessed to have the partnerships that we do. So, for example, you bring up the pancake breakfast. The Duwellum Knights of Columbus put on a breakfast for us every year. And we recently had that last Sunday. It was incredible. Blueberry pancakes, regular pancakes, sausage, eggs. We had a record number in attendance. We had over 300. And that is something the Duwellum Knights of Columbus do for us. And then they provide us with donations back from that breakfast.
Wow.
We also partner with the Foley Lions Club. We do Christmas care packages in which we, put together some items that we can share with our clients that are more in need.
Yeah.
And the Lions Club comes out, they put the packages together, they help sponsor it with donations, and they help us do that. We also have the Duwellum Lions Club in the summer. We do produce. So in the months of August, October, and November, they come out and they, I missed September, didn't I?
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't do November, but September.
Yeah, we do August, September, October.
And they bring produce?
So we have, through a relationship through the Second Harvest group, they provide us with produce. But it is a lot of produce.
Wow.
So they come together, the Lions Club come together to package, distribute. It's incredible. We also have the Foley American Legion. They help pay for rent. We have a monthly rent, and so they come together to help do that for us. And a couple of churches in the area, including New Life and First Presbyterian, they offer us a space for us to have our events, like the senior social.
Okay.
we currently are in a very tiny space.
Yeah.
And we host over 55 people at the senior social, which is another way we reduce senior isolation. It's a program, but they come in, they have a wonderful meal. They play nickel bingo.
Oh,
so they're
fun.
winning big money. And then they get to listen to some country, old time classic country
Stuff
music
that they enjoy. I love
Yes.
that.
So we are so grateful for the partnerships in what we have.
We've only got a couple minutes left. This time goes by so fast. But what are some ways for people to get involved and help you guys, I guess?
Well, I can kind of speak to that a little bit too, is that just by attending our fundraisers, buying something there, perhaps
Yeah.
buying a meal to eat, and some to take home, whatever. They come there, they help also to serve and to set up and take down, and they become actually a part of it,
Yeah.
so that it means something, more to them, like they really are helping themselves.
Yeah,
in that,
absolutely.
And well, we've got other things too, like Jen mentioned, coming into the office to help.
Yeah.
And
If you're someone that's good, like with advertising, or you like to write articles,
or just
Absolutely.
collating newsletters or something, and helping with mailings is a big thing. We only have 4 part-time employees in the office,
Okay.
and as we're growing, we need more and more help. So we value all of the office help we can get.
So if somebody wants to help out, what are the best ways for them to contact you, become a volunteer?
You can go to our careelders.org. That's our website. We have our Facebook page called CARE, Community Action Respecting Elders. They can also call our office at 320-968-7848. I do want to mention, we talk about ways you can help. We have an upcoming pork chop dinner on May 14th at Northern Howell Winery.
Oh.
We have some incredible silent auction baskets. Come eat a meal with us. We have the Knights of Columbus cooking up some beautiful pork chops. The cost is $18. You can buy tickets at our office pre-sale, or you can meet us at the door and buy tickets there. And then we have a golf event coming up on June 4th, and that also helps raise funds directly that support CARE. And
Okay, and to follow along to make sure they can get to all these things. That sounds fun at the winery and golf. So they go to your Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay, and that would just be CARE Elders.
So CARE, Community Action Respecting Elders. But if they type in CARE, they're going to find the Foley. But otherwise, they can go directly to our website too, and that's careelders.org.
Perfect. Well, I hate that we're out of time, but I'm so glad that you all joined us. It goes by fast, doesn't it?
It goes by
does.
fast.
Thank you so
Jen,
much.
Sarah, and Joyce. Wonderful. Thank you for the explanation. It sounds like a really great organization to be a part of.